Alright, we're back with the second part of this. Now this, I'm just gonna do this my own way. There's gonna be probably some people out there who don't agree with how I'm doing this, but it's how I'm gonna do it myself. So first off, I'll take the serpentine belt off here. If you need a new one, it's a good time to put a new one on. Next, we're gonna take the water pump out. I don't know how many bolts are in there, but they are 10mm bolts. And then I'll have to take off the radiator hoses that go to the water pump. Now you can drain out the radiator if you want. I'm sure there's a petcock on the bottom. I don't really want to mess with that thing because my experience in the salt belt here, you start messing with things like that and it just, they'll break, they won't seal up back again. So I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to pull the hoses, whatever drains out, great, and move on. So I will start with that. You can just put, I don't even know what size bolt that is, I guess. It goes through there. Probably 15mm. I got serpentine tool here. Just loosen it off, take the belt off. So I'm going to do that and start pulling hoses. I do have a tub underneath the truck to catch most of the coolant and whatever I can catch, I guess. Get all that, and then I'm going to start taking those bolts out. And we'll go from there. So I will start doing those things and just turn the camera on here and there, and maybe every step or every other step I'll try to turn the camera on, show you guys where I'm at, where the bolts are, stuff like that to help out. Alright, I got the water pump out. There were 6 bolts. They're all the same length. You can see them sitting off to the side there. You will need new gaskets for inlets and stuff. That I got that came with my timing cover gasket kit and all that stuff, so I will show that afterward. One thing I didn't mention, when you have your serpentine belts and stuff off it, it's a good idea just to check your pulleys. Just give them a spin, make sure they sound good, wiggle them a little bit. All mine sound good, nice and smooth, so I'm not going to worry about them. But you can see the white sensor there, that's the new cam sensor. When I was replacing that, my first one, I had a really hard time with it. It actually busted the top off of it, and so I had to go through and really work at that to get it out, and I'm pretty sure I messed up. I might have gouged up the metal on the timing cover a little bit. I was trying to be careful when I did it, but as you can see, it's leaking oil there. That's the main reason I'm just going to go through and do this anyway, even if the chain was good. It needs to be done because I'm just leaking oil. It's not a lot, but I figured I might as well do it. I also removed the AC pulley, or the belt for it. There is a tensioner right there. It just has a square socket hole in it that you can use, just a regular socket wrench, just like on the other bigger tensioner. Actually, the bigger tensioner up here's got a 15mm, so never mind. So right now I am at where I need to take off the crank pulley. So I have my impact wrench. It's a 24mm socket. I got a shallow socket on it. There's not a lot of room on there, so I'm just going to loosen it up and then see where we're at there. Just get it to break loose. And then I'll have to get a 3-jaw puller in there and get that to break loose if it doesn't pop off, which I doubt it will. And then looks like 10mm bolts all around the cover. I don't know how many of them there are, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. And then the sensor down here, there's a bolt there to undo that. So I will do that after I get the pulley off. Spilled out I don't know, a couple gallons of coolant probably. Got most of it in the bucket, so that's good. Alright, so I will do that and report back. Alright, I'm not sure right where I left off. I have the water pump is out over there. I'm pretty sure I went and said how many bolts are in that and everything. I have the harmonic balancer out. I just got sitting down over there right now. What I ended up needing, it's actually the next day. I had to quit last night. I broke 2 3-jaw pullers, regular pullers, trying to get it out. I mean, they're cheap. I just got them at Harbor Freight. They're real cheap, and the head just busted off them. So I went to our O'Reilly Auto Parts is near where I work, so I just rented this tool from them. It's their free rental program. You pay for it when you pick it up, and then you just get your money back when you take it back. It's a harmonic balancer puller. It's basically just a little 3-jaw puller. Let me grab the case for it, and I can give you a number here. Alright. Get out of the way. It is ever tough. That's at least the part number here, it looks like. I don't know, this is a Chrysler tool. So what you needed to do for the harmonic balancer, pull that up where we can see the thing, is there's 3 little cutouts here. You just get that tool on it, on those 3 little cutouts, and just tighten up the nut. What I had to do, they didn't have, it comes with, grab the case again. It comes with a couple of these little rods, just 2 of them. Neither one of them works for what you need it for. They're both too short. Kind of worthless in my opinion. But whatever. So I used the regular bolt for it for a little bit and just tighten that up a little bit, a few threads in there, crank the tool down, got it to pull out a little ways, then back the bolt off a little bit more, crank down again. Kind of a pain, very time consuming process. And then when I got to the end, there's still not enough threads on the bolt for it to actually work. So what I ended up doing, since I'm not at the farm shop, I don't have a lot of random metal sitting around, so I found a punch that worked. I fit down in there, and actually it's stuck at the end of the bolt here now. I got to get that out yet, but that's what I ended up using to make it work. So I plan to buy one of those tools, and what I'll do is, if the one I buy doesn't have the size punch or whatever I need, I'll just make up a piece of metal and make it work. But yeah, I wanted to show that part because last night got a little frustrating I got the pullers on there and then they kept breaking, so I just finally gave up for the night. Went and picked that up, and it worked good. The tool works fine. If you had the right size punch, it would work pretty easy. You could have it off in a couple minutes and you're done. Other than that, the bolt came right out. It's a 24mm head bolt. So yeah, that all came out fine. It was just a matter of pulling it off of the crank. The crank down there. So let me take out, there's a bunch of 10mm bolts around that timing cover, and I will see if we can get that thing cracked loose and off of there and take a look at the timing chain and see if it's stretched or see if that tensioner's busted or what's all going on, I guess. So stay tuned. Alright, just got the timing cover off here now. And that tensioner definitely did break. You can see there's some plastic chunks there, some more over there, and I don't know if you can see it behind the cam sprocket there, a couple pieces there. So that's great. Yeah, so that thing definitely grenaded. Let me put my light down, hopefully I can get it balanced where you can see it good. The chain here,
good and loose. So, yep, I probably ended up skipping a tooth or something, and that's why I'm off now. So I will try to get the oil pump out. Now the only thing, here's where we're going to find out if we can do it without dropping the pan or not. There, I guess I can't see it from this angle. I'll try to get up underneath and see if I can see the two bolts where the pickup comes in. Because if we can get those two off without dropping the pan, that would be ideal. I'm going to see, if I see a bunch of crap down in there, I guess I'll have to, but I would really rather not. So let me take the couple bolts off the front of the oil pump here. It looks like 10 millimeters. I'll get those taken off, and then I'll go down below and see what I see.